Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a client transformation video for you guys. So I'm just starting off by cleansing her face with ghanian micellar cleansing water. Then I used Q-tips, popularly known as cotton buds, to clean her eyes. You want everything to be squeaky clean. So next I'm going to be using the Gonu Effect Rose Water to hydrate her skin. Then for moisturizer, I'm using the Embryolisse cream to moisturize her face, and you want to make sure you moisturize the skin very well, especially under the eyes. Then for primer, I'm using the Milk Hydro Grape Primer. I'm using this everywhere except underneath the eyes because you want underneath the eyes to be moisturized. Then I use the Becca Mattifying Primer for her T-zone because she has combination skin. She has oily T-zone. So I'm just using that mattifying primer on her T-zone area. For foundation, I mixed 3 foundation: L'Oreal True Match in Cocoa, NARS in Macau, and NARS in Iguaku. So I mixed these 3 shades together to get her shade because her face is darker than her body. So I matched her face to her body. So after applying the foundation, then I used the Kiss Beauty setting spray, sprayed her face before going into my beauty sponge, which I'm just using to blend that foundation into her skin. To highlight her face, I use this fall concealer. So I use this Tarte one for the inner corner of her eyes. Then I mix this Nuban Beauty and this Tarte in Deep for a normal face highlight. Then I use the Zickel in Cafe for the outer corner. You guys will see how I'll use it in a second. So I use the lightest shade for the inner corner. Then those 2 shades I mixed, the Tarte and the Nuban Beauty, which is a normal highlight shade, is what I'm using for a normal highlights. Then right now I'm using the Zickel in Cafe for the outer perimeter. So to begin blending, I start off by blending the darkest shade, then build my way into the middle. I'll just let you guys watch how I blend. So today I'm doing cream contour and I'm using the Huda Beauty Tantour in the shade medium, and I'm using this contour brush from Nuban Beauty to blend into her skin. This shade was just perfect for her contour. So you guys already know the drill: the hollows of her face, hairline, temple. After which I went back into my beauty sponge to blend everything properly. So I actually left the concealer under her eyes to become a bit tacky, but you can't do this with every concealer because some concealers dry quickly. I can only do this with certain concealers, and these are one of them. So I decided to do the contour first before blending this out so that I can set it immediately. For setting, I'm using the RCMA No Color setting powder to set the highlighted areas. I'm going into the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Powder in medium deep to further set under her eyes and the areas that I highlighted. I went into Sephora powder in deep. I used this to set the rest of her face. Going into powder contour, I'm using the Ezekiel powder palette, and I'm using that shade that I just showed you right now to set her contour areas. I'm also using that same powder for a nose contour. I used that dark shade I used for the perimeter of her face for only the inner corner of her nose contour. Then I went into a slightly lighter shade. That's the shade before this particular shade in the powder palette to do the rest of the nose contour. So it's not just two straight dark lines going down her nose. Going back into that Ezekiel powder palette, I went into this shade and I'm just using this to further snatch her nose. Then for reverse contour, I'm using her powder shade, the Sephora Deep. Then I proceeded to blend it out with a brush so you don't have a sharp harsh line just sitting there. So now we're done with skin. Moving on to brows, I'm using the Haggai and Esther in Nubia to draw the outline of the brows using an angled brush from Evita Joseph. Then to fill in, I'm using good old Davis pencil in number 18. To highlight the brows, I used Kevin O'Kwan in 14. I actually used 14 for the brow bone. Then I used Ezekiel concealer in Cafe for the inner corner and the outer corner of the brows. And I'm highlighting using the Evita Joseph flat brush. After which I proceeded to blend with this blending brush from J-Sop brushes. Then I use that same Cafe to highlight the top part of our brows. You want to make sure you blend it very well. Don't use a concealer shade that is too light, otherwise it won't blend and you end up having halo brows. So now I'm setting the brows, the concealer. You want to set all that concealer in the exact same way you applied it. So use a lighter powder to set the brow bone area, then use a darker powder to set the inner and the outer corner, and use her face powder to set the top of the brows. Then the last step, I'm using the Younger Beauty brow tint to set the eyebrows in place, and that's it for the brows. Then for baking, I'm using Beauty by AD setting powders in amber and tawny. So I used amber for the inner corner and tawny for the rest of the under eye. So now we are moving to eyeshadow, and I'm using the Ben Nye Clown White as the eyeshadow base. You want to take your time and blend that out very well. Then I'm using the Huda Beauty Naughty eyeshadow palette for our eyes. I started off by using this shade right here as my main color. Then I went into Mood Beauty eyeshadow palette in Arusha. I started off with this shade right here, this brown shade, Mocha. Just using this to deepen the outer corner of our eyes like so. And I also used the leftover on the brush to blend the crease area. Then I went back into that Arusha and used this shade to further blend into her eyes like so. Let me just let you guys watch what I'm doing exactly. So now that we're done with the eyeshadow, I'm just dusting off the excess setting powder. Then I'm using my Inglot gel liner in number 77 to draw a wing liner. And next, I'm using the Zara volumizing mascara before we proceed to lashes. And for lashes, I'm using these lashes from Allure by Chloe in the style Luscious. To finish off the eyes, I went into the Queen Amina 2 palette and I went into this red shade to smudge on the lower lash line. After which I used mascara on her bottom lashes. Then for lips, I'm lining with the Beauty by AD in khaki. And I went into this Ruby Light Lippy in Ihunaya. This is one of my favorite lipsticks. I've had it for so long. I'm sure I'm almost out by now. I need to get a new one. So I'm just blending that shade into the brown lippy that I used earlier. Then to finish off the lip, I'm using a light concealer on the innermost part of the lip. Then I'll blend it into that pink shade. And I'm using this bow cap eyeshadow, this orange shade, as my blush. After which I went back into that, please ignore my hands, this is the hand of a makeup artist. Then I went back into the Kiss Beauty setting spray to set all over her face. Then for highlighter, I'm using the Beauty by AD highlighter in the shade Sheen. And I'm just using the CVL brush to apply the highlighter. Then for the nose highlight, I use this smaller, precise brush to apply the nose highlighter. Then I went ahead to blend it with a blending brush so there are no harsh lines. Then for the inner corner of our eyes, I went into this Mood Beauty blush palette and used that light pink shade. Do you see how that just made that pop? And I'm using this setting spray, the Ferrarucci All Nighter setting spray. This setting spray reminds me of the Huda Beauty Resting Boss. You know that Huda Beauty setting spray, like your makeup is going nowhere when you use it. This is a very good dupe for it. I can't find it anywhere to buy in Nigeria, and this Ferrarucci was recommended by one amazing makeup artist. I can't remember her name, but thank you. Then you know me, I like glossy lips. I went ahead to apply the Fenty Gloss Bomb. And yeah, that's the end of this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.